Consensus of the Nerds by Sophia Spiritualite, August the 5th, 2025. As a response to the lingering question of how to become a priest or a king in the post-truth age, I have been searching for clues on how this was handled in the past. I recently revisited a story told in 1 Samuel or 1 Kingdoms about how Saul became king. At the end of Judges, the tribe of Benjamin was forced to take wives from a foreign tribe, perpetuating the trauma that had befallen them by their brothers on yet another group of people. In Samuel, we see the result of that. Israel rejected being ruled by the Creator and instead wanted a king. As a result, Saul, who was from the tribe of Benjamin, was chosen. Saul was chosen not just because of his bloodline, but because of his height. He was a foot taller than the rest of the people. He also truly did not want to rule, but it was in his blood because the people of the tribe of Benjamin had chosen for wives were the Philistines. The Philistines, like Goliath, were known for being tall. The Creator gave the people a king who would be able to defeat the enemy outside of them because he was mixed with their blood. This also led to the defeat of Saul himself because the god of the Philistines, Odin, would assume control over his body to attack David. About 2 years ago, I made the comment on my channel that Saul worked with Odin because of a simple line of text in the story. It said that Saul attacked David with 2 spears. I had recently heard from an academic researcher on the Nordic pantheon named Argith Hager that Odin was known in his iconography because he was pictured with 2 spears. This was so plainly recorded in the Bible, I thought it had to be a mistake. Even more research forced me to the conclusion that the Bible was an esoteric encyclopedia, not a simple spell book, but a living manual on how to interact with the unseen forces of the universe. I have been operating from that perspective ever since. The point of this story is that my determination to understand the text of the Bible in a clear and cohesive manner indicated that I was committed to acknowledging the Creator as He is, flexible, understanding, and loving, not a rigid taskmaster devoted to unending bloodshed. It also points to the subject of this thread. I was a nerd. Now, this had been something I should have already known, but it feels like that has been hidden in plain sight. It isn't everyone who has to check out of the system for it to collapse. It isn't everyone who has to check out of the system for it to collapse, but the nerds, those connected only to the biology of nature and the Creator. Those seekers of solutions. In the Bible, we are the mist that went out over the whole earth. Mist is smart, strange, and uncontrollable. A nerd in their element cannot be separated from a solution. It was never the priest who selected the king. It was the nerds. If the nerds of the kingdom did not like the king, they could not stay in power long. The elements simply would not be favorable to him. Similarly, if the nerds didn't like the priests, they would be unable to control the gods they were supposed to be interceding for on your behalf, and they would soon be run out the temple. The nerds are the glue holding society together. So the solution is not to be the priest or the king, but to be the nerd who makes it possible for the priest or the king to rule. America is no longer operating under the consensus of the nerds. The government has used every tactic possible to create their own nerd class, like the Senior Executive Service, but that path has led them to complete and total humiliation. Now, the nerd class has the opportunity to rise above the ashes of a post-truth society and create a new world in the image of the Creator. The rules are unclear, and therefore, only the purest vessels are able to rise to the task. The first step is to accept your uniqueness as an individual. The second step is to never compromise your beliefs. The priest and king The Creator will arise, just like Saul, and we will be prepared to crown him. The nerds are just like the sacred prophets of the old days, and now is our time to shine. Shalom, peace, and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.